Very excited to have my next guest join us. Her brand new EP is called Ache in My Tooth. The lovely and talented Flower of Love.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome.
Thank you. I should say welcome to you. You're in my venue.
I am in your venue. That's
Yeah.
right. We're in one of the only two venues in the U.S. in which you're performing this fall.
Yes, exactly. You're correct. It's my second U.S. show. Mm-hmm. My first one was in New York 2 nights ago.
How'd that go?
It was so nice. It was so wholesome.
Really? What was so wholesome about it?
Everyone was like very die-hard. Someone actually came dressed as my EP cover. Like they had tape all over them. And I was like, dedication.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was fire.
Is that something you expect? Or were you
It's something I would like.
Okay.
It's something I would like. I do have a dress code. I posted about a dress code for the show, but that's like taking dress code to above and beyond.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, these are your only 2 shows in the U.S. right now. You've been performing for a little bit now in your homeland and the UK
exactly.
and whatnot. So how have you seen yourself grow as an artist and come to expect fans to be able to come prepared?
You know what? I think when you play a lot of festivals, I've played a lot of festivals, you have to try and win the crowd over. But when you do your headline shows, there's no winning over. They know everything. So it's like you come in with the energy of like, oh, I have to win them over. But then when you're on stage, everyone already knows everything. So it feels amazing. And it's just like, I think that's the growth. The growth is being able to have your own show and people know everything and showing up for you, instead of having to win people over, because it always affects the ego a little bit when you have to try and win people over.
Of course,
you know?
That's why I asked the question, because
good question.
When you go into your own show, these are your people, it's a community.
They know what's up.
They know what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially when they see things online and encounter it in person. That's why I asked what's the feeling like, what's the vibe like when you actually see it in the flesh.
I think seeing it in the flesh is the best part of the job, because when everything is online, it doesn't really feel real. Like a number on a screen doesn't feel very real to me. And then when I see these people in real life, or if someone comes up to me and they're like, oh, I love your music, I'm like, oh, shit, like I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to do. Am I allowed to swear?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, potty mouth is fine.
Thank you.
When you were first coming out with music, it was definitely something different and something relatable for a lot of people, a lot of your fans. And you just talked about numbers and seeing things online. Did you think that this was just like a little project that you're doing, and what was your reaction to seeing the numbers grow?
I didn't think it was just a little project, no. I've been wanting to live this out as my dream and my dream job since about 4 years ago when I started. But it's just like now that things are just more accessible. Back in the day, 4 years ago, things still weren't as accessible. But now we have like the power of TikTok and everything, which is great. But like, I see it on I still think I'm at the very, very start, like the very, very start. Like, I see it being on such a way more bigger scale than this.
What type of scale? What is the large
world
scale
domination.
goal? World domination.
Yeah.
So Beyonce level.
Yes, exactly.
50 Grammy nominations, venues, stadiums sold out.
Exactly.
Flower of Love Eras Tour-esque.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I see all that, yeah.
As you started, you started with a rap song.
I started with a rap song.
13 years old.
I did. You did your research.
And it evolved. Your music and personality that you present in your music has evolved. And we'll talk about the lovey-dovey butterflies and rainbows that you got going on in the new EP.
Yes.
But how has the music changed? Where did these shifts take place?
I think the shifts took place in stuff that was happening in my life and as I grew up. Because when I made my first rap song, I was 13, and I was rapping about something that wasn't even real and didn't even exist. And then when I was 15, I actually released my first song. I was like letting my brother write my music for me. And it was like, I think this, I feel this. And he was writing stuff where he thought stuff I would say. And then I became confident as a writer, which is in the last 2 years. And I'm like, I write my own stuff now. So it's like more just things that are happening in my life and things I'm thinking and feeling. And just like being a teenager as well. It's like there's stuff that I have to write as a form of therapy. Otherwise, I won't be okay.
Does this start off as poetry, or does it start off as journal entries that kind of evolve into lyrics?
It starts off with song titles, actually. I'm intentionally like, I'm going to make this a song. So whatever's happening in my life, if something happens, I'll write a quick note of like, a song title that I'm going to take from a conversation.
So when you say erase you, you were quite literal.
I wrote Erase You, yes. Yeah.
The title.
The title was written Erase You. It was actually Erase It. It was like, oh, I can't get this thing out of my head, which was like a situation with a boy. And
He's a man now.
No, he ain't.
Oh, hey now.
Nah, he ain't. We can't give him the man title.
Okay.
But it was Erase It. And then when I was in the studio, I was singing Erase You. And then it fit.
It falls.
But everything too, even Are You Serious? I just wrote it as a song title. Muse I had as a song title from something another boy said to me, and I was like, I'm taking that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, in conversation, I'm like, writing stuff down. I don't care.
There's so many great songs on this EP, and I wish there was more. But
that's the point.
A Girl Like Me was one that really just stuck with me. I couldn't help but just continuously play that repeat. Currently my favorite.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so you go.
Erase You's on there too. Muse, I mean, the sonics, the introduction is very 80s, 90s-esque to me.
Okay.
But anyway, a Girl Like Me is very interesting because here you are. I think that if you say that I read the title first, that is something in which...
You know what's crazy? That's the first song I ever wrote using a title first. Because I was in a session with a guy called Rob Milton, who I love so much. He's a producer and writer. We made the song together. And he was like, oh, this one thing I've been trying with this other artist he works with is writing the song title first. And I was like, oh, let's do it. And I had like a thing where I wanted to write about a girl like me. Like, I just wanted to be like, but I didn't know if it was going to be like, oh, do you like me, do you not like me kind of vibe. I was just like, a girl like me. Like, it could have been about my hair or like my personality. I just had that title and then wrote the song.
It's such a vibe. What about the sonics of it? How do you
sonics of it?
Yeah, where do you direct, how do you direct the sonics of the
Honestly, from a feeling, it's like I want it to feel like this, and I love to like get pictures of stuff too. Like I have like a whole Pinterest board of certain pictures, and I'm like, I want my song to feel like this, or I'll be like, guitar that sounds like a butterfly flying and landing on a leaf. It's like, that's why I have to work with people who really get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were creating these songs, Flowery is about love.
Yes.
It's like I said, a vibe. Almost like a glitter pen in which you're just...
It's very glitter gel pen, yes, yes, for sure.
Was that the vision?
100%, 100%. I'm definitely more of a visual person than anything, you know? So like, I need to like see something before I hear it, before I make it, before I write it, before I create it.
How do you get the people that help with the sonics of it to come and make it real? Because
I think we have to have like a deep chat first. And also, I just say no a lot in the studio. If something sounds, I'll be like, this sounds awful. Try again. Let's do it again. And I need people who are gonna be okay with that. And I have people who are okay with that. And I have people who prefer that because no one wants to waste any time.
Of course.
Yeah.
What are the touch points in terms of various artists, songs, genres in which help to inform your sound?
That's a great question. Honestly, I think I listen to a lot of music that I'm inspired by, but I don't take inspiration from.
Okay.
I listen to music and I get inspired by the feeling that it gives me. And I'm not like, oh, I want to make a song like this. I'm just like, I want to make something that feels like this. Yeah.
So
those pick points, like I can name some people who I love who have made me feel. And it's like Tame Impala, Harry Styles, Rex Orange County. Right now, I'm like big on them. I've always been big on Harry and Tame Impala, but like I'm in my Rex bag a lot right now.
How do you like his new album?
I love the new album. I don't think it's his best album.
Oh.
Because obviously Pony exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
And I think the other album is Who Cares or something. Yeah, that one's really good.
The one before this one.
With the Dalmatians. Yeah. I thought that one's my favorite. But I like the new album because it's a little bit more like quirky in a sense. And there's like a lot of like beautiful piano chords. Yeah, I love it.
What was the music that was playing in your household as you were growing up? Because of course that helps to guide a lot of your taste and what you want to be.
That guides my taste a lot more than anything I listen to now, honestly, because that's my like first feeling of music. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So like I grew up listening to a lot of ABBA because of my mum and Boney M, which is why I love like a good call and response thing in a song. I feel like that's what hooks me when I listen to someone else's music. There's a call and response thing, even if it's like a BV in the back. I'm like, okay, I love this. I live for it. Yeah, those two are like main. And I also grew up listening to 1D and Justin Bieber. My pop people.
R.I.P. Liam.
Oh, yeah. Please. I'm going to start crying. I'm like a big directioner.
Yeah.
So that was like...
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a lot to
so
take
many
in.
people hit so many people so hard.
Yeah.
What about your parents? Was the family playing in kitchen, holidays, and
Again, it was the ABBA, it was the
gatherings?
Boney M, but my parents from Ivory Coast. I was raised as an African child, not as a British child, although I was born and raised in London. So like I always feel a little bit from like African music. I grew up around a lot of Ivorian music a lot, and it's like specific acoustic guitars and specific drum patterns, which I love so much. And I feel like the drum pattern in A Girl Like Me kind of reminds me of back home a little bit.
And do you go often? Or
No,
do you have intention to?
probably not.
Why not?
I think I'm just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Conditioned to the UK
Okay.
and to the Western world,
Right.
to be honest. And that's just really honest. And I think that just the way things are running over there, probably not.
Right.
Unless I was to go see family, but like my family, my home family are here with me
Right.
in London.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I'm always
Like
curious.
I don't really feel a need to, but I might have a different answer in 6 months or in a year.
Sure. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
curious at this point, at this filming, right? What your
currently,
vibe
this
is.
is how I currently feel. But if we come back in a year, I might be like, oh, I was there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I stayed there for a month, and I was inspired,
Yeah.
and these are the songs that I wrote.
Probably not though. Because I have that at home. Like I was raised very Ivorian, so
Yeah.
like I don't have it missing in me where I feel like I have to go there and like soak in the culture.
Of
It's like
course.
right in my house.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great that the family has retained that and has exposed you to that, so that you have that balance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to go back to the homeland, so to speak, and
Yeah.
get reintroduced to their culture, but you already have that.
Yeah. Home was in my home.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. As we move forward, I hear that you're making more music and you're
I'm
working
making
on
more.
things. What's the vibe going to be for the project that you...
The vibe is the more of Ache in My Tooth that people want. And the reason I made it super short, and I feel like every single song is different, but in the same space. And when I say different, I mean like there's a different story, but they're all under the themes of love and different types of love. So my next song is also to do with love, but it's also like a response to Ache in My Tooth. It's like a follow-up. Like if there was like part 2, it's like, oh, what else happened in her story? This is the tea.
what happens.
It's the tea.
I
Yeah.
see. Very interesting titles for these EPs
Thank you.
that you have here. Like,
love my titles, actually.
No, I love them too. That's what I'm saying.
you.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So what is Ache in My Tooth? Is this love? Is it like
Yes,
so but it's the pain.
It is. I think love hurts because it's so strong and it's so intense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the only thing we have, which is why it's scary if you lose it and it's scary if you have it because you're scared of losing it when you do have it. I also think that love is so sweet that it can hurt, like a toothache.
Very-
Yeah, so ache in my tooth. Because I didn't want to just do one word. I'm very, very into like sentences and like long stuff.
I love it.
Thank you.
I like how it's inspired by lyrics or feelings and vibes
Yes.
and that kind of thing too,
Yes.
right? Like Mosh Pit in the Clouds.
And Mosh Pit in the Clouds is fire. I wished I had saved it for an album, but I'll think of something better.
I'm sure you will. You are also involved in the fashion world, and the fashion sense is just insane here.
Thank you, guys. This is a bit basic currently, but
How have you taken to that industry, that world, and where do you think you're going to be going with that?
well, I want to be known as a fashion icon at some point. So I'm taking the steps into doing that, however I think is doing that. And I want to be like a big staple in fashion where it's like, oh, like she did this thing that has changed the way people dress.
Congrats on all of the attention that you're getting. You're just getting started,
Thank
like you
you.
said.
That's really nice of you.
I'm a big fan of your music, and
Thanks.
best of luck with everything. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I really appreciate the time.
Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming and waiting.
Yes, it's Flower of Love right here on B-Sides.